Akame got killed, episode 22, Kill the Despair. Now, coming off of the last episode, I am honestly a little convinced that this series was simply created to hurt my feelings because I can't believe that. I mean, we didn't see what happened with Susanoo, but we lost mine. And that really sucks. I didn't expect that to happen, and I was thinking, hopefully, no more of the good guys end up getting killed off. Now, with Susanoo, at this point, I would assume that means we lost two characters. We lost mine for sure at the end, unless somehow she could wake up and she'll be fine. But I knew she was gonna die as soon as she was using her weapon. As soon as it was cracked, I was like, "This is it. She's gonna die." She defeats, much like Lubbock, same thing. Um, Not as BS. To be totally honest, I was a little mad about how Lubbock lost because he won, and it's like, oh, instead of them being totally fine and he teleports on land, they were like 100 feet in the sky or 300 feet in the air, and so he couldn't survive. That was BS, and I was mad. This I understood because it was just like this cannon. It was almost like her shooting off a nuke, or like just a crazy laser beam just shooting off, and she's the one thing holding it down. So I knew that that made sense that it could destroy her, and it was you know, before she actually was able to repel it, it was an attack coming at her and it was still hitting her and it was shattering the gun and it shattered that attachment until it went down to the bare Imperial arms until she, did like the crazy blast and sent it, back at him like some DBZ type stuff. But it still sucked that it happened. I couldn't believe that it happens like that really blows. And then I was like, okay, maybe things will be fine because they saved her and Tatsumi saved her. Another slap in my face. I was like, he saved her exactly how I thought he might save Lubbock in the last episode. And so he saves her and I was like, okay, and maybe it'll work. And then they killed Susanoo and they shattered his core. And also, Esdeath's ability was amazing. Like her freezing time, that was super cool. And she mentioned she developed that trump card. I thought that was pretty interesting that she said that. But that was a really cool fight. It was really sweet to see Susanoo go up against her, and then he was in like his Ashura's Wrath form. That was another thing that kind of bothered me a little bit is that even when he went into like that super epic form, which seemingly, when he first used it, it was like the be all end all. And then in this episode, it was still just like, oh, he's basically nothing because Esdeath is just like, oh, dodge and block. Like, she blocked him in his ultimate form, and it was just like, boom. Oh, it's just like blocking anybody else. That I didn't really like. I didn't think that should have been the way that it was. If she was going to make it, I would have preferred kind of how she did it at the end towards the end of the episode, where she was still powerful enough to block him. Like his blade, was like a special blade, but he was just as strong as she was. And like I feel like it kind of works in that sense when it's like weapons clashing. But I still feel like even in that sense, he should have been like sending her flying because he should have been way stronger than she was because he was made as an Imperial Arms. But he was basically just a normal human against her until he was in his ultimate form. And even then, he was just a slightly stronger human compared to her. And her powers, I understood him not being able to get through that because her ice, in this case, her ice is really more like crystal where it's like super tough. So it's not just like, oh, it's a wall of ice, no big deal. I understand how they do her powers, and that made sense. Like when he did the blade thing, which I thought, especially when Najin hit the button, I was like, man, they're finally gonna get a hit. I didn't think they'd kill her, but I was like, they're finally gonna at least get a hit on Esdeath. I thought it would blow up, and it would crack the ice so he wouldn't have as much resistance. It would shatter it and destroy it, and she would just barely dodge, and it would like maybe cut her across the stomach or something, and she'd be weakened to the point where she would have to leave, which I think would have been way cooler. But ultimately, it's just like, nope, she's still way too powerful. And she does the time stopping move, which was very cool. And then, she stabs him in the chest, and then he freezes, and then she punches him, and his core comes out, and she shatters it. That's when I was like, okay, so they did that, but we could still lose two people. And I was kind of back and forth. And it's like, okay, we better not lose two people. And then, of course, he came back. And that's when I was like, it's guaranteed then. If he's resurrected, then it's guaranteed that mine isn't going to make it from this. And then they leave him because he's, like their shield. So we don't know what's going to happen with him. They might, Esdeath might freeze him or something, and they might try to, they might destroy the body and keep the core and try to find a way to, like, somehow build another body around it, maybe, that, that's under their control. That might be how they end up doing that. They only have, like, 3 episodes left, but they could still do that. Just, poof, we finished. But I don't know. Like, that really sucks if we lose both characters. It would still really suck if mine did die and Susanoo was changed to, work for the Jaegers. Because it's kind of the same thing. And then he'd probably go on to kill someone else. We only have 4 members. We have Najinda, Akame, Leone, and then Tatsumi. Who knows what's going to happen? I've mentioned this before. I would assume Akame is going to survive because her name is in the title. Tatsumi, who is oddly the actual main character, despite Akame's name being in the title. And then we have Leone and Najinda. And who knows what's going to happen with them. I thought for sure Najinda was going to be the one that died in this episode because they mentioned the 3 times thing. I thought it was automatic. I thought that they just flat out died once they did that 3 times. But instead it's like it just makes you super, super weak. So I guess if she had a lot of time to recover, it would be like months or something, then she could technically use that trump card again. But no time, relatively soon, could she do that again if she even had the opportunity. So I was surprised that she did survive that, and that was the thing. Like, there were just so many moments where I was like, this person could die or that person could die. Thought, Susanoo definitely did die, and then he was resurrected. And then I thought Najinda would die from that because, the 3 times rule. But she's just super weak. Mine, unfortunately, does die off. They do have a really good moment between Tatsumi and mine. I did enjoy that. And, she mentions how she feels and stuff and how she fell in love with him and they actually have a kiss. And I like the way they did it. It's really sad and he has, like, the tear and she has a tear. That was really well done. I don't know what to expect, though, from this next episode. I hope Susanoo somehow was able to escape, but I doubt it. He was either destroyed, or they destroyed the body and took the core, and once again, we don't know enough about the lore, I guess, as to whether or not you can just build something around a core, but I would assume you could. I mean, basically, it was like they have to destroy the core to kill the, that type of, the organic Imperial Arms anyway, so I was wondering if they left the core there, would the body just start growing out of the core? That's what I was wondering, but nothing was happening, and then it just got shattered, so still no real answer. Too much was, it was way too fast-paced for that to really just, sit around and we get to see what happens with it, but I'm looking forward to the next one. I don't know, we're probably going to lose somebody else. I don't know. I'm kind of expecting it at this point, and it's just like, oh, killed Lubbock, killed mine, who knows with Susanoo. Najinda can't exactly do much because now she's in her weakened state, so she probably won't be in, at least not fighting in the next episode. She'll probably be in it. And then we have Tatsumi, Akame, and Leone. They'll have to go to the capital. Defeated the general in this one, who had awesome Imperial Arms. Like, his trump card was cool, like just a full-on lightning bolt, basically. So he's destroyed. I thought he would be just disintegrated, but apparently he was totally fine. But I was really surprised by that. I was like, oh, I didn't expect a little shot of him falling. I thought he'd just be like, it's like some DBZ type stuff, just wiped away out of existence, Imperial Arms gone forever, nothing. But body's still there. I would assume he's dead. I would hope so. And not, like, oh, I was really weak, but, he comes back in, like, the next episode or something, like, alright, you gotta fight the next person. So I'm assuming he's gone. I guess they probably won't do anything with those Imperial Arms, but I was thinking, like, they should really take those. But at this point, there's probably no switching around of weapons or anything like that. So that's pretty much gone. It doesn't really matter. But I am looking forward to this next episode, of course. I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And, of course, and I can't believe I have to do this 2 episodes in a row, but I want to know, of course, what you guys thought about us losing mine in this episode. Lubbock, I mentioned, I was surprised by that because he won, and I was super mad because it was total BS that he teleported and they're super high in the air. That's the only reason he even died, was because he beat the guy, and they just randomly teleported, up into the air. So, hated that. This one, I think the biggest shock is the fact that it happens in the very next episode. And it's kind of the same way. She beats the villain. Not as BS, like I said. I mean, she was still being hit with that whole blast and everything, and she was using all her power. I thought, honestly, at first, that the gun just flat out exploded, and it sent a blast back, but it just killed her as well, and she was, kind of disintegrated, just like the general. But I wasn't really too shocked by it. But it still sucks. No matter what, it still sucks. And it's like, seemingly none of the relationship stuff is going to work. Because I mentioned before, I was super mad about Lubbock because not only was he really funny and I liked him, but it was like he was supposed to get the girl because that was like his whole thing, is that he never got to really say how he felt. And that was kind of the main reason, even over him just being a funny, likable character. That was the main drive for me saying, I don't want him dead. He's got to at least say how he feels. And he never got that chance. At least mine did, so I appreciate that. I guess that's all I can say. I mean, it's not like it'll change. So I guess I appreciate that she at least got the opportunity compared to Lubbock and, the way things ended for him. But definitely a good episode. I mean, the action was good. Sad ending. Shocking ending. Definitely shocking ending because, the whole Susanoo stuff, still don't really know exactly what happened in regards to his survival. But based on the show, it's just like, we probably just lost two characters for sure in this episode, or at least one character officially dead and another turned to work with the villain. So we'll see what happens, but definitely want to know what you guys thought about it, and of course us losing another character right after losing another member in the last episode. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.